Jeremy, my youngest son, was being naughty and grabbed a snake. When he wouldn't let go, the snake bit him. Since my husband was on a business trip and my older son Benedict was working the night shift at the hospital, I didn't hesitate to call a cab and rush Jeremy to the same hospital where Benedict worked. Upon arrival, a pretty nurse ran over and asked about Jeremy's situation. She quickly brought a hospital cot and began taking him to the emergency room. Choking back tears, I explained what had happened and begged her to save my son, while she kept her eyes on the machines and spoke with someone else. Just before Jeremy was pushed into the emergency room, she suddenly stopped, so I asked in confusion if something was wrong. Her eyes darkened as she stared at Jeremy. "Do you know Benedict Fuller?" "Of course I do. He's my..." I started to say, but before I could finish, she slapped me. "What the hell?" I exclaimed, clutching my stinging cheek and looking up at her. She glared at me. "Don't you know who I am? I've been dating Benedict for a year. We're planning to get married." Taking a closer look, I realized I'd seen her before on Benedict's social media. She was his girlfriend, Yvonne Sinclair. Reaching out, I tried to introduce myself. "I'm Benedict's." Again, before I could say mother, she slapped me harder, making my cheek burn with pain. "You hag. Do you think you can steal my boyfriend just because you're attractive?" She kicked me in the stomach, and it hurt so much I could barely stand. Then she glared at Jeremy lying on the bed. "Is this the bastard you had with him without his knowledge?" Since Jeremy and Benedict looked alike, both taking after their father, I wanted to explain, but she didn't give me a chance. Looking at Jeremy's ashen face with disdain, she said slowly, "We have other patients who need urgent care now. You'll have to wait," and then walked away with the other nurses. My mind was buzzing, but I knew Jeremy couldn't wait. Fumbling, I took out my phone to call Benedict, but he didn't pick up. Jeremy's face was going gray, and panicking because I couldn't reach Benedict, I cursed under my breath. Unfortunately, Yvonne hadn't gone far. Hearing me, she thought I was cursing her. She stormed back, face twisted in rage, grabbing me by the hair. "Who are you calling? There's a car accident victim needing emergency surgery. Benedict's still in the operating theater. Do you think he'll help you even if you call him?" She pulled out a necklace from around her neck, waving the familiar ruby pendant in my face. "Benedict gave me this as a token of his love. He will marry me. He's not going to care about you just because you birthed him a bastard. Our relationship is stable." She shoved me to the ground, ripping my shirt and revealing the ruby pendant hanging around my neck. Yvonne's eyes widened, her anger intensifying. "How did you get this ruby? It's a family heirloom." The ruby pendant was our family's heirloom. There were 2 of these pendants. I gave Benedict one of them to give to his significant other. Jeremy would be getting the other one when he was older. In the meantime, I kept it for him. Clearly Yvonne had gotten the wrong idea. She tore the necklace off my neck in hysterics. "You're a liar, Benedict Fuller. You told me you only loved me. How can you cheat on me with this old woman? I hate you. I hate you. My heart hurts, but I still can't stop myself from loving you," she muttered to herself in madness. Then her eyes went dark. "If they die, then there won't be anything standing between us anymore. Yes, that's it." She took out her phone and called someone. After a moment I heard her say, "Francis, you have to help me protect my relationship." I had no time to watch her lose her mind. Crawling over to Jeremy's bed, I stared anxiously as his complexion turned even worse. "Please, save my son," I begged. "He's been bitten by a venomous snake. If you don't help him, he'll die." The other nurses also tried to talk to Yvonne. "Come on, shit's going to go down if the boy dies. Let's just send him to the emergency room first." Yvonne snorted coldly and gave the other nurses a sharp look. "Are you sure you want to side with this homewrecker? Don't forget, Benedict's father is the CEO of this hospital. Once I marry him, I will be the one to decide whether you get promoted or not." Hearing this, the other nurses looked at each other before walking away, pretending to be busy with something else. "Yvonne, please, let my son into the emergency room. He's going to die," I begged. Yvonne's expression was cold, and her eyes were full of malice. "That's the thing. I want him to die. That's the only way to keep him from standing between me and Benedict after we get married. I don't want this bastard coming between us. I don't want to be a stepmother. My son is not Benedict's illegitimate son," I explained quickly. "He's his brother." Yvonne kicked me in the chest. "How can you say that this bastard is my boyfriend's brother when you keep calling him your son? That's ridiculous. Are you going to tell me next that you're Benedict's mother?" I nodded at once. "Yes, I am Benedict's mother, his real mother." Confusion flickered on Yvonne's face for a moment. She stared at me hard. Just then, the doors of the hospital burst open. A group of people rushed in, wielding sticks. The man at the lead, whose hair was dyed blonde, yelled, "Who's the bitch trying to steal my sister's boyfriend?" I was kneeling on the ground, my cheeks swollen, and my clothes disheveled. Yvonne stood before me with an ugly expression on her face. "It's her, Francis," she said. "She's telling me now that she's Benedict's mother." Francis Sinclair scoffed. He gave me a once-over and said disdainfully, "If she's the CEO's wife, then I am the CEO. She's just trying to scare you so that you'll get flustered, Yvonne." Yvonne's confusion disappeared. "Thank goodness you came, Francis. Otherwise I might get tricked by this homewrecker." She strode up to me and slapped me several times in a row. My ears were buzzing, but I didn't dare to move away. "Please, save my son. Save my son. I beg you," I kept pleading. Suddenly cruelty flashed flashed in Yvonne's eyes. Actually, I can save him if you take off your clothes and slap yourself. You have to say that you're a slut and a homewrecker as you do so, and apologize to me on camera. Say that you should not have intruded in my relationship with Benedict.